Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking all about the best and worst fragrance launches of 2022 so far. Now I am only one person, I have not smelled everything, but I do my best to stay on top of any of the big launches, anything that's trending, buzzing in both the niche and designer worlds. I have all of my 2022 bottles on the vanity behind me. If there's anything really noteworthy and incredible that you've discovered that I don't mention, let me know, drop me a comment, I would love to check it out. What I usually do is just keep a running list on my phone. That way I can keep track of all of the 2022 launches. Anything that I've smelled, I kind of rank, try to put in order. Anything that I haven't smelled yet, I still keep on the list. That way I know what to look out for when I'm out and about shopping for fragrances. I'm gonna start today's video with a very special blind unboxing. This was sent to me complimentary from Kayali. It's their latest launch, Lovefest Burning Cherry 48. As soon as I heard about this fragrance, I knew I had to have it, and I've resisted every urge, every temptation to watch any reviews, although there has been so much buzz and excitement that even just scrolling social media, I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and they're comparing Lovefest to Tom Ford Lost Cherry, which is very intriguing because that is one of my all-time favorite fragrances, especially recently. I've been wearing it so much. And if there are any similarities, that will be a game changer because the Kayali is obviously way less expensive than Tom Ford Lost Cherry. Just listen to these notes: burning cherry, raspberry, praline, Palo Santo, Guaiac wood, and patchouli. Raspberry and praline are two of those notes that I just know as soon as I read them in the description, 9 times out of 10, I am going to love the fragrance. They are for me. This bottle looks like a giant ruby gemstone. It is so beautiful. I was surprised to see vanilla not listed as one of the main notes, simply because Tom Ford Lost Cherry is so vanilla forward. That's not to say it doesn't have any vanilla in it. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. Okay, I cannot wait any longer. Yeah, it is similar. Oh my goodness, they did it. How many times have I said Lost Cherry is so delicious, so amazing? How has this not been recreated a million times? But Lovefest Burning Cherry 48, you did it. But it is different. They aren't exactly the same. But you definitely get that spiciness, that delicious cherry cordial, the bitter cherry. But I would say Lovefest is maybe a little bit smokier, earthier, probably the patchouli in there. And the wood notes versus like a sweet, moody vanilla base. Oh my goodness, but I love it. Doesn't so much have that sweet, delicious cherry, cordial cherry almond. It's more like a smoky, woody cherry. But it has the spiciness, it has the sweetness. And when I look at this bottle, when I smell this fragrance, it puts me in the mood for fall, but I just want to put on like a vampy berry lip and douse myself with this fragrance. It's really good. If you like cherry, if you like anything that's a little bit sweet and spicy, you're gonna love this. Going into fall, this will be perfect, but even right now, I see this as a very summery fragrance, end of summer, a date night, going out. It's gonna be a perfect transition fragrance from summer to fall. I'm gonna go ahead and wear this as my fragrance of the day because I just have to test this out. Oh, but I really like it. Now that it's dried down on my arm a little bit, it is missing the vanilla. This has much more of a woody base versus Lost Cherry, which is very vanilla dominant. But maybe they did that on purpose so you could layer Lovefest with the Vanilla 28, which I actually think would be pretty smart because that would give you a completely different fragrance. Because initially this smells very much like a Lost Cherry dupe, but after a few minutes, it's very different. I definitely pick up on the cherry and the spiciness. And it's very yummy, but it's not the same. I think if you wanted something really similar, you would want to tie in the Vanilla 28. But I still really like it on its own. It had to be done. I grabbed my Vanilla 28. I'm gonna try them together and see what this is like. Oh, it's an incredible combination, but it's different. It's its own entity. I really would not compare this to anything else. Oh my gosh. Definitely kicks it up a notch though. If you love vanilla, I think this is your winning combination. These two right here. You could always wear this alone, could always wear this alone, but together, wow. Takes a really good fragrance to an incredible fragrance. It's way too early to say whether or not it's one of the best launches of the year. I need to wear it for at least a full day, but really I need to wear this for a couple of weeks, see what the dry down is like, how it works with my skin chemistry. So I will keep you posted on this fragrance, but initial thoughts are that it smells incredibly delicious. I think if you like cherry fragrances, you are going to love Lovefest, especially going into fall winter. So now let's turn to what I would consider to be the best fragrance launches of 2022 so far. Starting with two fragrances here from Florist London, Mulberry Fig and Platinum 22. These are both two of the best luxury niche fragrances in my collection, and I happened to discover this brand this year. I was even lucky enough to be invited to London by Florist for the launch of Platinum 22. And while I was there visiting their original shop, I learned so much about the rich history and heritage of the brand that I really developed a much deeper appreciation for all Florist London fragrances. But these are two of my favorites. Platinum 22 is a very sweet floral. It's inspired by the Queen's Gardens, but they wanted to give it a gourmand touch. Keynotes include orris, oat, blackcurrant, lime, rose, violet leaf, clary sage, and black tea, musk, cedarwood, tonka bean, and amber. I will never forget the first time I smelled this fragrance. We were all standing together in the back room of their German Street boutique, and we were talking with their perfumery director, who's a 9th generation Florist family member, and he was passing around blotter cards, and I thought, oh my gosh, I hope this smells really good, because I came all the way to London to smell this fragrance, and it was like, wow. It just blew me away, took my breath away, and I just sighed relief, like, yes, this was worth the trip. This is a special fragrance. It's a little spicy, a little earthy, definitely feels very natural, like you're connecting with nature, but then it has that warm, ambery dry down, and that touch of sweetness. Not too much, but just enough. It's a really interesting, very unique fragrance. It's unlike anything else in my collection. It just feels very special. It was launched for a special occasion, but the fragrance itself smells elevated. When I wear this, I'm going somewhere special. I'm dressed up, my hair is done, my makeup's done, I'm wearing a fabulous outfit, and I am out for the night. And it has a warmth to it. It's almost warm and cozy. It's a very sensual, very elegant fragrance. Definitely one of the best of the year, but one of the best in my collection. And then we have Mulberry Fig. This is what started my love affair with Florist London. This is a very beautiful coconut woody fragrance. It smells incredibly elegant. Inspired by St. James's Park, but to me, when I smell this fragrance, I just think of a luxury boutique hotel on South Beach. It smells like the beach, or like a very elegant vacation. It's like summer in a bottle, vacationing on a yacht somewhere very glamorous, dressed in a white linen dress or a white linen jumpsuit, something very chic and fabulous. I love coconut, I love fig. It has a hint of sweetness, but not too much. This to me is a non-offensive, office-friendly, everyday-friendly, signature scent-worthy type of perfume. Keynotes include fig, cardamom, violet leaf, orris, vetiver, coconut, sandalwood, cedarwood, and amber. The woody notes in the base, the sandalwood and cedarwood, give it a really smooth finish, but the amber gives it a nice warm touch. And the warmth from the amber tied in with the coconut and the fig makes it smell so delicious. Just a beautiful fragrance. I want to smell this all the time. I want a candle, a body lotion, room spray, you name it. It's so beautiful. Another one of my favorites so far this year is Windflowers from Creed, a beautiful, warm floral fragrance that will transition seamlessly from summer to fall. So I will still be able to get a lot of use out of this in the coming months. I really liked Windflowers the first time I smelled it, but it's a fragrance that has slowly romanced me, and now I really love this perfume. And what's funny is that anytime I'm out in Miami, if there's a brand event or an influencer creator event, I always smell this on other people. So it is a crowd pleaser, definitely. That I know for sure. Keynotes include jasmine, lemon, orange blossom, jasmine sambac, rose centifolia, sandalwood, tuberose, iris, musk, and orange blossom. I know I've mentioned this before, but something about it reminds me so much of Chloe Nomad. Not that the fragrances smell the same, but they just capture the same sort of adventure, wanderlust spirit. Like when I smell Windflowers, I imagine the Chloe Nomad campaign, like a girl out in the desert wearing suede fringe with a Chloe bag. It's warm, it almost has a bit of a sweet bubblegum center from the jasmine. But then it just smells very natural, very earthy, very down to earth. And there's a bit of zestiness from the citrus notes as well. Makes you want to get in your car and go on a road trip somewhere. Makes me want to travel whenever I smell this fragrance. Travel, wearing a flowy dress, kind of let your hair blow in the wind. I love the dry down. I love wearing this fragrance, and I think it's a true testament to the quality of the perfume that I can recognize this fragrance on other people. It doesn't happen that often, surprisingly, because I love to go out and I love fragrance, so I'm happy to smell people, but this is the one I have smelled so many times, and I always say to them, are you wearing Windflowers? Are you wearing Windflowers? And the answer is always, yes, how did you know? Oh my goodness, so funny. It's definitely one of the best launches of 2022. Is it one of the best Creed fragrances? I'm not sure. That is a tough one because the bar is set so high, and Creed is such a strong fragrance house. I have so many favorites. I don't know if it would be a contender. Maybe, it might be, but definitely on my list of 2022 launches, Windflowers is a huge standout for me. This next perfume caught me completely off guard, and I have not talked about this on camera yet. It's a flanker, and I've been sleeping on the original, so I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't really have any expectations. This is new from Lancôme. It's the Idole Nectar. I absolutely love this beautiful bottle. You can see I've already made a pretty substantial dent in this fragrance. Keynotes are a bit different. It has a caramel popcorn accord, and you can truly smell that kind of sweet, salty, addicting caramel popcorn note. It also has rose souffle and bourbon vanilla. I love almost anything with a creamy vanilla dry down. This is such a fun, flirty, kind of girls' night out, date night on the town type of fragrance. I took this bottle with me recently on a weekend trip down to the beach. It is a bit deceptive though because the bottle is so thin, so it looks like I've used a lot more than I probably actually have. I don't know, it's hard to tell because it's very thin. The bottle is a little bit strange, but I did wear it quite a bit because it's just sort of a fun fragrance to wear. It's a little bit sweet, just kind of energizes you, puts a smile on my face. Almost smells like a fruity floral. But I definitely pick up on the rose, but it's a very fresh, clean rose. It's not like a stuffy, conservative, boring rose. It's very modern, playful, youthful. It smells very luscious, but it's not overly heavy and serious or overly sexy either. So it could be a signature scent. Just smells really, really good. If you like sweet floral fragrances, I think you will love the new Idole Nectar. Compared to the original Idole, which is a little bit more fresh and clean, this has a little bit more warmth, a little bit more oomph. I would put this in the same fragrance category as the Gucci Flora Gorgeous Gardenia Eau de Parfum. Chanel has launched 2 fragrances so far this year, but only one of them makes the best of 2022 list. The number 1 de Chanel L'Eau Rouge is a fragrance mist. It's incredibly lightweight. I think it smells divine. It smells like the makeup. If you really like the smell of the powders, the blushes, then I think you will probably like this. I don't dislike it, but I wouldn't consider this to be a best fragrance of 2022. This to me is more of a step out of the shower, apply your body lotion, spritz all over, get out the door, gym fragrance, pillow fragrance, a room mist. You can kind of spritz this on whenever, but it is meant to be incredibly lightweight. It's just not really in the same category, I would say, as the other fragrances that we're talking about. But I didn't want you to think I forgot about it. I haven't. Paris, on the other hand, this definitely makes the list as one of the best fragrances of 2022. This is such a special perfume. It's an extension of the Les Eaux line. All of these fragrances are eau de toilette concentration, so still a little bit lighter, more fresh, but not quite as light as the number 1 L'Eau Rouge. Paris is a sparkling floral woody fragrance with keynotes of fresh lemon and tangerine, rose, spicy pink pepper, and patchouli. And I know it's received mixed feedback. I've heard a lot of responses either way. Some people really love this fragrance, other people don't like it. I knew there was something about it that was familiar, and it's Coco Noir. This to me is a very light, like extremely light, distant relative, maybe a second cousin, and the eau de toilette version of Coco Noir because it has citrus, patchouli, spicy pink pepper, and rose. It's not that the notes are all that unique, but it does smell a little bit softer, a little bit lighter than most Chanel fragrances. This to me is very modern and almost feels removed from the DNA of Chanel perfume, which tends to be a little bit heavier, powdery, spicy, more old school perfumery. Paris to me smells somehow different, yet the same all at once. I can't really explain it. This to me is like an it girl fragrance, like a really cool, early 20-something, very chic, trendsetter type of woman. And I think this was made for her. Kind of the new generation of Chanel lovers. I love this fragrance. It fits in so nicely with the other Les Eaux fragrances from this collection. I want to say Paris might be my favorite. It's a toss-up. I've always loved Venice. That was my first favorite. Riviera is beautiful. I would say Paris and Venice are kind of neck and neck. If you love rose, I highly recommend the new Miss Dior Rose Essence. This is exclusive to Dior.com. I'm not sure if it's available at Dior boutiques. I don't think they have beauty at our Dior boutique. I haven't seen this at other Dior counters in department stores. I purchased mine directly from Dior.com. It smells like a very intense, luscious rose water. The type of mist that you would spritz on your face, but as you know, that type of rose water is very light. So even though this is a more intense version, it's also incredibly light. And it is meant to be like a water essence type of perfume. So it doesn't really last a very long time. It doesn't really linger on the skin, doesn't have a ton of projection, but not everybody wants a beast mode fragrance. There are plenty of people out there who are either sensitive to fragrance, or maybe you work really closely with other people. If you are a school teacher, a nurse, if you are in an office building and you're really close to other people, you don't necessarily want a fragrance that's going to knock everybody's socks off. And also you have to think about different occasions. I think this is beautiful as an everyday fragrance, but it's not something that I would wear for a date night or a special occasion when I'm getting really dressed up. But for the right occasion, I think it is beautiful. I happen to really love rose though. Keynotes include geranium, grass rose, guaiac wood, musk, vetiver, and patchouli. I don't pick up any patchouli. When it dries down, I can smell the musk, kind of a smooth, woody base, but to me, this is just intense rose water in the best way possible. And I love the inspiration behind the fragrance. In Grasse, France, where they grow all of these flowers, the water runoff from the rose fields is what inspired this fragrance. It's kind of this return to nature. And they also used recycled rose petals in the packaging. This bottle is made from 25% recycled glass. Just a light, soft, musky rose. It's not going to be for everybody, but if you're somebody who really appreciates simplicity in fragrance, I think you will really like this. And then the last perfume on my best of list is Tom Ford Rose d'Amalfi. This is part of the Rose Garden collection. It was launched at the same time as 2 other rose fragrances. This is hands down my favorite of the 3. Key notes include Rose Absolute, Rosewater Extract, Italian Bergamot, and Heliotrope. I am not a huge fan of the other 2 fragrances in the Rose Garden collection, but this kind of powdery, creamy almond rose, I love. It's just fresh. It's like fresh, clean, straight out of the shower. Perfect every single day. And very elegant, but kind of casual, which is so odd for Tom Ford. It's very unexpected from Tom Ford. One of my favorites so far in 2022. And I know that I said that was my last fragrance, but I actually have the Brazilian Crush Cheirosa 68. I wouldn't consider this to be a true perfume, but it's a body mist from Sol de Janeiro. It has pink dragon fruit, lychee essence, Brazilian jasmine, ocean air notes, hibiscus, sheer vanilla, and sun musk. I love this on its own or with the Beija Flor body cream from Sol de Janeiro. That is a match made in heaven. I know I've talked about this quite a few times. It is such a great, affordable option. I would grab this over a lot of other fragrances in my collection because it's just easy. You can kind of spritz with abandon and get out the door. And paired with the body cream, it's incredibly long lasting. So it really does replace a fragrance of the day, your perfume. It's so easy for travel to throw in your purse, and the scent is intoxicating. A lot of people say it smells like Baccarat Rouge 540. I think it has a bit of that addicting quality. Maybe it's the lychee. There's something in there that kind of has that sugar cotton candy makes your mouth water effect. I would compare it to Burberry Her a little bit more than Baccarat Rouge 540, but still a beautiful fragrance mist, and I think this bottle is maybe 20 bucks. You really cannot beat it. I have several other fragrances on the vanity behind me that launched in 2022, but I would not consider them to be best of 2022. 2 of my niche fragrances I really like, but they are definitely fall winter. They're very heavy and just not fragrances that I would wear right now, so I can't really get into the spirit quite yet. But I do have a couple fragrances that I would consider to be worst of 2022. Not just mediocre fragrances, but actually bad. This is one that I thought would be a hidden gem. I thought I was discovering something really special with this fragrance. It's from the brand Sniff. So it was more affordable. I think this was $65, but an incredible disappointment. I've never worn this. I kept it in the box because I figured I opened it. I didn't think I'd be able to return it. It's called Strawberry Moon. And if you live in South Florida or Miami, you know that Strawberry Moon is the name of a restaurant that's part of a really beautiful boutique hotel down on South Beach. It's pretty famous because it's very Instagrammable. Well, this fragrance was inspired by that restaurant, which I've been to several times for dinner, for brunch. It's so pretty. A lot of groups of girls will go and take lots of pictures. The name Strawberry Moon sounds very delicious, and it's very pink inside. So I thought this would be such a fun, more affordable fragrance that all of the Miami girls would go crazy for, and here I was going to tell everybody about it. When it arrived, this is what the box looked like. Pretty basic. Keynotes are jasmine, leather, bergamot, pink pepper, iris, saffron, vetiver, and amber woods. In hindsight, those notes don't sound incredibly enticing to me. I was blinded by the name, Strawberry Moon, because I've been to the restaurant before. But when you smell this fragrance, it doesn't really smell like anything. It is not long-lasting. It is not potent whatsoever. The smell I do get is just not very nice. It's not pleasant. I get a little leather, like leather water. It's like the most diluted eau de toilette to ever exist, with a hint of water that's been stored in a leather pouch. This fragrance captures the scent of somebody who visited Strawberry Moon, went to a pool party, danced all day, swam in the pool, laps. They did laps in the pool, they danced, they sweat, and then they come home hours later after going to live, and this is what they smell like in the morning. It smells like a stale, old, sweaty perfume. Does that sound good? It's really just not very nice. It's not even something I would gift to my husband because it's definitely not feminine. It is a genderless fragrance, so it's for everybody. But I wouldn't even want to smell this on him. So it really was just a waste. Another one of my least favorite launches of the year, Tom Ford Rose de Russie. I couldn't even take a full nostril full the first time I smelled this. I do think I can probably gift this to my husband. He might like it. It's been a while since I've smelled this because it just did not work with me whatsoever. Yeah, it's very harsh. Not pleasant. Not something that I would ever want to wear. And I don't think I would want to smell this on him either. I would give this to my worst enemy, and that's about it. And I know I heard from some of you who really like this fragrance, so please do not take this personally. Everybody's nose is different. Fragrances smell different on everybody. So if you really like Rose de Russie, then you just spritz your little heart out. It smells like dirt, like smoke and dirt and rocks. Just not very nice. I was so disappointed by this because I love rose so much. I was so enchanted by the idea of a rose garden collection from Tom Ford, but this is just not right for me. I have two more fragrances on my worst perfumes of 2022 list. Replica When the Rain Stops. This was a huge disappointment for me. Not the worst fragrance ever. I think it's actually better than the previous two we just talked about, but not a really pretty fragrance. It was too, I don't know, sandalwood, too woody, did not really smell fresh and clean. If you want something that's really fresh, aquatic, smells like fresh rain, I would go with Commodity Rain every time over When the Rain Stops. I usually really like the Replica fragrances, but that one just didn't do it for me. I was kind of disappointed. And finally, the KKW Jeff Leatham collaboration. I purchased 2 out of the 3. It was my first KKW fragrance purchase. I was really hoping to find a more affordable fragrance that would knock my socks off. The gardenia, and then there was a caramel orchid, and I just didn't really like either of them. I didn't think they were great quality, which you might say, well, of course, hello, it's not going to be on the same level as a niche fragrance. But then I think about fragrances like this. I love this body mist. I wear these body mists. I think they smell incredible. For 20 bucks, this is something that I will actually use for $60 each, I want to say they were. I knew that I would never wear either of those perfumes. The gardenia was not really very gardenia-y. I love gardenia. That's one of my favorite notes in fragrance, and it just wasn't very pretty. The caramel orchid, there was no caramel. I wouldn't even say they were sickeningly sweet. They were just very blah, very bland. I wouldn't even use them as a pick-me-up or a touch-up throughout the day. So I let go of them. I was very disappointed. I will probably not revisit KKW fragrances in the future unless there's something that really sounds incredible and I hear feedback first. As a blind buy, that was not my smartest fragrance choice. I have a few on my list that I have not tried yet. There are 2 Byredo fragrances I'd like to try. Vanille Antique and De Los Santos. If you've tried any of those, let me know. And then I got an email this week from Dior that they are launching a brand new J'adore fragrance. I believe it's called J'adore L'Eau. I'm interested. It's supposed to be a unique, never been done before style of fragrance. It's alcohol free. Right now it's only available on Dior.com, I believe, so I will most likely order that just to try it out. I really love the original J'adore, and I don't own it in my collection. It is an eau de parfum. When I read the name L'Eau, I thought it would be something like the L'Eau Rouge from Chanel. kind of a fragrance mist, water, something that you spritz whenever you get out of the shower, but it is an eau de parfum. It's just alcohol free. So I will most likely be testing that very soon. But that completes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. I would love to hear from you. What are your favorite fragrances that I've launched this year? If you have favorites, least favorites, drop them in the comment section. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned. Everything on my face will be listed down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.